Yeah.
Is Pedro cautious online?
Yeah,
Very
not
bad.
that mad cautious this time.
Not that mad cautious.
Yeah, I was able to just hop in.
Always a little mad. But
always a little mad. That's his secret, folks. He's always mad. Always mad. So we're missing Jordan, and he's not a permanent member of the group, but you can always catch him on Brother Sister on Twitch.tv. He's got a great thing going on there. We got to set it up so that when he goes online, we kind of restream it. I'm going to set that in.
Yeah, it's I keep trying to watch his show live, but it merges perfectly with my kiddo's bedtime, and I just can't do it.
I know, and it's dinner time for us and getting the kiddos ready for bed. So, but he does repost on Thursdays. Post it up as a separate post on the YouTubes. So, but hopefully he's watching.
Second live show. We're still filling out the format. It's very cool though.
Yeah, I'm digging the format. Maybe I'll get some. I've got some splash screens going. Like I can literally just switch over to like, boom, there's the channel, and then
oh, there you go,
kill it off and off kind of thing. I can set all sorts of overlays. But yeah, it's a fun interface. This is a great little product. You can tell it's still in beta. This StreamYard software, because there's not a lot of options, and the login functionality is a little weird. You still have to like log in, and then it sends you a key. But either way, it does what it does, and it does it well so far. So they've got a good foundation going. I'll
be honest with you, I kind of like the key. I wish more websites did it, because it means that they're not saving your information.
Yeah, it's saving enough to where it remembered all my graphics. And what's funny is last time I streamed from a different computer, so I didn't have to save any of this.
Oh, it's great. They keep it all. They don't have your password information. They don't have all that stuff connected. So
yep.
It's probably easier for them from an architecture standpoint. Save a little time and money on that.
I would hope so. I'm hoping they add a way for me to save what I'm streaming as a local file, so that I can then keep it. But when it gets put up on YouTube's, I can always re-download it.
There you go. And that covers out the technical aspect of our show.
It does. So, and I know someone out there is watching us going, you noobs.
What the heck?
You can use OBS and do this and this and this. And I'm like, I'm old, man. I'm old. I'm grayer by the day, man.
We've only got a set amount of time for all of our hobbies. And so if you want your hobbies to be streamable, you can't be overlapping them all. It
really is. That's the truth. All these young kiddos I see online, they're like, playing video games for 27 hours a day, and they're streaming, and they're up like every other day. And I'm like, how are you guys streaming for 5 hours a day, finishing full on like RPGs, and then still having social lives? Like, what is this magic? Do young folk harness power of time? Can they like?
Step one, don't have a family.
God, I knew it.
God, even when I didn't have a kid, I had a ton of free time. But now it's just your time is completely. Also, I don't know. I don't know how they do it. I don't even know how they pay their bills, to be honest. There's a lot of questions I have for the 20-year-old out there who plays video games and pays their bills.
Well, yeah, folks. Let's see what do we got here on the agenda. So last time we streamed, there was no.
Play games differently too. That's true, Brian.
Yeah, they probably do. Yeah, we've got Brian here. Yeah, I think they do play games a little different. It's I guess they metagame. There's a lot of metagaming. You think so? What do we got here? Skip side quests and run straight through.
No, that can't be right. I mean, I'm sure. I don't want to stereotype them all. I'm sure that some of them are out there completing every Chivo, getting every side quest. There's definitely a group of them that just move from the popular game to the popular game, right? So, but I don't know. I imagine that they just prioritize differently than we do.
There were people online Friday afternoon already post streaming Endgame of Borderlands.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that's exactly it. Like, I can't imagine playing that game just to run through the main story, because there's so much great side quests so far. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that as soon as we get into that Borderlands 3.
That's that Lucas mentality, man. They just consume it all to the end, and then they say after 12 hours, well, there's nothing left to do.
There's nothing left to play. The game was too short. Only 3 hours of content. I paid $60 for this. 1 star. Steam bomb. Review bomb it, folks. That's it. That's exactly it.
That's exactly it.
I think, let's see here. Haley. Yes. I think having access to all video games changed things. We have to wait for, yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
We had to wait for games. That's interesting. Yeah, I guess we did. I mean, I feel like at one point when I was younger, there was games everywhere and games out there to play. But you're right in that, like, I don't know, all video games, things changes, things. Yeah, I don't know.
So let's talk about this real quick because that's what brings up a good topic.
I like it.
What back in the day, pre-internet, pre-online connectivity, pre-Twitter, getting instant messages of like notifications that this game got announced. Do you remember like getting your copy, or if you ever got like a copy of like Nintendo Power or EGM or whatever, opening it up and seeing the first screenshot of some game that you were excited for or whatever, and then that was it. It was like mythical until like a year later. Then all of a sudden, it came out.
Was it even? I don't even remember the like. Was the cycles that long? I remember it being like Nintendo Power would come out, and then like a month later the game was out. Like it was.
I guess so, because there wasn't that year long drip feed. It was like by the time Nintendo Power had it, they already had a review copy of it, and they were
the maps and Metroid all there, and the demo discs.
Yeah. Oh my God, PC Gamer magazine had the best demo discs. I remember that with like Coconut Monkey. The little mascot that PC Gamer had for a while, and you'd kind of click and find the demos. They were hidden on the disc.
I would eat for weeks on those demos. Like I wouldn't have to buy games. I would just be like demo for days on end. And my dad and my family was always like, "Where do you get all these games?" I'm like, "They're not full games. It's just a demo." Like I can't afford these games all the time.
I was watching the newest episode of Angry Video Game Nerd, and the newest episode, you should go check it out, guys. Angry Video Game Nerd. He posted a video about a game that didn't make him angry. He talks about the Chex cereal game. It was a full game that was packed into Chex cereal, and it was essentially a Doom WAD pack, like a Doom like a reskin. So Doom, but you were like hi, what's up, Tim?
What's up, Tim? Thanks for joining.
Yeah, he talks about how they took a game that was all bloody and stuff, and you're fighting like the Soggies or whatever, and you've got you're shooting cereal at them. It's ridiculous, but the game is actually good because it's based off of a good engine, and it has such a cult following that there's like 2 and 3. Like Chex made a sequel. They contracted a company out to make a sequel.
See, I don't know what's real and not real anymore. This is a Chex Doom
cereal. Yeah. Chex cereal. See if I can find that. Chex.
Oh my God.
Cereal Doom.
This is like real
game. Yeah. It's absolutely nuts. It's called Chex Quest. And I'm gonna pull that up and show everybody.
Go for it. It's faster than me.
One of the neat things of this.
Yeah, so I was playing Wolfenstein, and I didn't realize that they had like a Wolfenstein game baked into it, so you can actually play it if you take a nap in the game.
Yeah.
And I forgot like how crazy it was to like shoot Nazis in that like weird.
So this is Chex Quest.
Nice.
It was a full game. Non-violent first-person shooter created in '96 by Digital Cafe. Now, it got awards. It's actually a really good game. Part 2 and Part 3, and there's even future development because it's got such a weird platform DOS. But check this out, Digital Cafe. Look what these guys have done. Digital Cafe.
Is this what Haley's talking about? Where like there's such a stratification of games? Like there's so many. You can literally go out there and find a game you want to play. I'm like, I feel like I'm playing a cereal game today.
Apparently. Well, I mean, Humble Bundle, things like Humble Bundle, like drop like 15 games at you for like $1, right? And so like there's just this mass consumption of games.
You know how I feel about Humble Bundle. You know how I feel about that. Everyone knows.
Tell us.
Don't bother. It's 15 games you're never going to play.
Oh, you think so?
It's digital clutter for your gaming universe.
That's right. We talked about this in the last episode where you don't even your digital library. You even want to prune your digital library.
I do. I wish I could actually hide some games on there because I don't want to see.
You can hide games on.
They bring me no joy to see games I don't play. I just want to see Sim 6 and put the rest of them away. I can't. I mean, I've just cleaned my office again, and there's so many things got thrown away. I'm actually eyeing my Dungeon magazines. I'm like, maybe I digitize them and then throw out the magazines.
Oh my God! No, what are you doing? Come on, don't throw out. You can't throw away Dungeon magazines. Those things are worth money.
They're like $2 each. They're not worth any money. Maybe $3. I don't know. I don't think they're worth.
I could have sworn there's like because there's
like
campaigns that put in the. There's like small little campaigns and tidbits and stuff that are only ever available on the.
Yeah, I don't see like that. You know, if you want to talk about collecting magazines, I don't have the pieces for it because these magazines weren't valued when they came out. You just ripped open the stuff, you lost the map, you lost whatever was in there. I think one of them actually came with like a full set of cards for the deck of many things, right? And those are gone. And the issues themselves are great. They've got great maps, great art, and one of the reasons why I haven't got rid of them so far, it's just they take up a lot of bookshelf space, and magazines are large, and they're dusty and things like that. So I don't know what to do with that stuff. I can't live the way you do, where you've got all this stuff out there and you have to deal with managing them all the time, like and looking at them and never playing with them.
They bring me joy.
I know it brings you joy.
It's like a museum. You walk in, it's like the room of requirement.
It's a room of requirement. Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out a nice balance, and Dungeon Magazine is one of those things where maybe I'll see about getting rid of a bunch. But even as I was flipping through them, some of the
there's something you could pass down to art.
I've got adventures written by Christopher Perkins in Dungeon Magazine, right? Because he was actually an editor for Dungeon Magazine for a while. So like, there's like old adventures where you read his old adventures and you're like, this is the guy that's a famous DM now. These old adventures are insane. So like, you kind of have to figure this out. Oh, thanks for joining, Jordan. Jordan just tapped in.
Jordan, welcome.
This is kind of amazing. We've got all these chat channels from various folks. We got Brian on YouTube and Haley over on Facebook, Haley and Tim over on Facebook, and Jordan on
great.
Twitter.
Restream is great. The service is great. I'm literally digging it.
And it's nice to see Haley and Jordan on, right? From Brother Sister.
Yeah.
The sibling streamers.
So let's talk real quick about something specific.
Talk about Borderlands 3. That's what you want to talk about, man.
Just before I do that, what's going on tomorrow?
Oh wait, are we outing me?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, tomorrow is if anybody wants to steal my identity, tomorrow is my birthday. Thanks, Joe, for calling it out. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, tomorrow.
Woo!
Yes, another revolution around the sun, and 2 failed assassination attempts survived. So we're good to go.
I gotta call that one in again.
Yes. Your ninjas failed to kill me, Joe. This year's ninjas. There we go. See, but so I'm excited for that. Joe's a very kind and evil. As I was delaying buying Borderlands 3. Thanks, Tim. And now I have Borderlands 3, which I downloaded yesterday, but have not had an opportunity to play.
Only 2 by me.
Oh yeah.
He only noticed 2.
It's only 2 this year, Haley. As you get older, the number of attempts decline as you become more and more irrelevant. You understand?
I gotta blame this presidency is causing assassinations to go up in price. They're not as cheap as they were.
They're not as cheap. Thanks. Oh, and happy birthday to Brian. Look at that. This is on Thursday. Virgos Unite. I love it.
Yeah, happy birthday, Brian. There we go. Yeah, Virgos Unite. Yeah. Oh my God. But yes, he has Borderlands 3 because I was talking to a couple of friends and he's like, I heard he was commiserating on our Sunday morning gaming session. And he was like, I don't know if I'm not going to get it till October, because maybe after my birthday or whatever. I'm like, there's no effing way he's going to get Borderlands in October. It's the one game we went to the freaking launch event at PAX East. It's the one game we've talked about other than like Fortnite on this. But
I could still delay. I'm that kid who didn't eat the marshmallow, right? I'm that kid who eats the frosting last on cake. I can delay gratification indefinitely because I'm such a miserable human being.
So tantric.
I don't want happiness. I don't want happiness. I don't like the way it feels.
What is this? No, heart. Get back. Become smaller again.
I hate it.
Oh God.
So I can delay it indefinitely. It's just because
So we're hoping to get some sort of stream going. I've got the groundwork going on how to do it with this and everything else. I think I found a way that you can stream the Xbox because he plays on Xbox, not on PC. You can stream PC very easily and without hooking up my Xbox. There's all sorts of ways, but I think you can game stream to your PC and then stream the window.
Yeah, it's like through the Xbox app or something.
Yeah, the Xbox app, and so I'm gonna try it out and see if it works. Maybe I'll do a test and see. So we're gonna try to get that going and maybe get a stream with both of us up and
Borderlands 3 has space for 2 more. So if you've got it,
got it. 2 more people. We're gonna be doing it on our Xbox.
It's gonna be great.
I'm hoping cross.
Maybe corrupt our saves so we lose all our progress and have to start over.
That's been fixed. Thank you. Thank you.
This is why I'm not a week 1 adopter. You understand?
I will say I am trickle feeding Borderlands. Is so how big can the party be? It's a 4, so you can have a co-op group of 4 individuals, and they can be all 4 the same character if you wanted to. There's no change to that. You can be whatever you want. What's nice is this version of the game they made the customizability. Whatever. You can customize your character, your Vault Hunter, a lot more. The skins, the full face, the additions. There's all sorts of fun stuff now.
And those are still loot drops, right? So like as you're killing.
Yes, and they've been giving a bunch of them away on as a keys on Twitter. So the same way the shift codes. There's all sorts of stuff to get 4 days. Brian says, any plans for cross-platform? So yes. There have been lots of hush / we're going to do it without saying we're going to do it talks. The question has been brought up to them multiple times, and their response has been not at launch. But yeah, so we're looking at cross-play compatibility for PC and Xbox and all of them. So it'd be great because the game takes a lot of time. So being able to have your character like on Xbox and all of a sudden go, hey, my buddy on PC's playing, let me just hop on. And the save is saved online, saved on Gearbox's servers. It just drops it and puts it on whatever console you're playing.
They'll have it ready before their first DLC, so they get that invigoration going. People who want to come back and don't have to decide what system they get the DLC on and things like that. So
exactly. I think that's the big deal. It's if no system wants to lose out on the DLC. So if you buy it on one, it doesn't cross over. Because obviously, if I bought the season pass, which I got it with my bundle that I bought for the game, I have it on Xbox, but I don't have it on the PC version, right? So I'm wondering how they're going to deal that. That's the thing. You're going to have to purchase that separately. Who knows? They'll cross that bridge, but who knows? Haley says, this might have been answered in previous episodes, but what are you most looking forward to in this game? In Borderlands?
Well, for me, I mean, I think Borderlands 2, I think it's one of the greatest looter shooters ever made. And from what I'm reading, Borderlands 3 is just more Borderlands 2. And I miss that sort of like rapid, fast-moving, just looter shooter, gun comparison simulation, right? It's just I just have a lot of fun getting those loot guns and picking which one does what I want it to do and shooting acid at people's faces. So yeah, that's it's just
my favorite part about this game was always the amount of content they gave you for I say flat price. There's no hidden fees in the game. You buy the game, and yes, they do have a season pass, but you pay for it once, and they're going to give you tons of content. And Borderlands 2, each DLC pack or mission or whatever you call campaign that they gave you was long and had tons of small options. It was almost like buying a whole new game. Like I would have paid if someone had made just a single game out of each one of those. Each one of those games easily was like a $20 game. In content, I think $20 to $25 per DLC. If they were just solitary games that you download, think of it like a Traveler's Tale game. If each one of those was a separate download as an episode, that's how it would have been. So the amount of content I think they're going to give you and the amount of world building they've done in this version of the game.
That's what you're looking forward to, sort of exploring all that world building that they've done, and you're going to get it.
Yeah, you're going to get all that.
Unlike another game that might not give that much world content information,
or ones that build lots of world and then don't. I was talking to that with coworkers about the Destiny games, part 1 and 2, and how they're like so angry. And then there's games like Anthem, which promised tons, and then when it released, it was just a pile of mess. and then they're just hoping that they can beta test it in public, which doesn't work anymore.
I think Division 2 is going through a little bit of too, where people have consumed all the game and there just isn't much to do in the end game. And it was designed with the end game in mind. It just hasn't really delivered much. And I think Destiny 2 actually is doing pretty well, from what I understand. Right? It's got all the.
It's doing better. They've released kind of a free to play version on PC. They've dropped the Activision. They're really giving it that Bungie. It feels almost Blizzard-like love. There's some definite like polish that's happening without the nickel and diming of the Activision scenario. I'm just hoping they're able to make it a polished piece of software without having to go, you know what, we're going to have to release Division 3 that's all our own, as opposed to, be able to strip out some of that Activision like branching.
Let's see. I don't know. We'll see. I have to talk to, maybe I'll come back. I don't know. That game is one of those games that I wish I had played at least a little bit, but never even tried. Haley, you asked, did you have something you were looking forward to? Did you like Borderlands 3? What were you looking forward to? Just post up a comment. Everybody who's on the channel, just post up a comment as to what you were looking forward to.
What's a game?
Or not, if you're a hater.
Or if you're not a gamer, what geekness? What's interesting is this Borderlands 3 game was probably the first major AAA launch of the holiday season.
Probably it is. Yeah. Is there even anything coming out? I don't think there's even anything coming out this season.
So there's a few games coming out this season, but so this Friday
Gears of War 5
that came out. Actually, that's right. They launched first, so I got to give them props. I have Gears of War 5 launched, and it's been interesting because there are full-blown licensed music, cinematic TV spots airing with Brian got cinematic spots airing with NFL games. It's bananas the amount of budget and marketing that game is giving for a game that they are technically giving you for free if you are paying the Gamer Pass.
I got no clue. What are you playing, Tim, if you don't know about new games, right?
He might have been playing games, but I know he's a big movie buff for sure.
All right, Haley. Well, you should try it. Borderlands 2 is great. I think the Handsome Jack collection is great. If you like looter shooters, there's nothing purer than that particular game for looter shooter.
Let me tell you, I could preach for days about the Borderlands games, but they are definitely the easiest first-person shooter game to get into, and they are equally as fun to play with friends. If you've got friends, the games are cheap. The Handsome Jack collection gets you right in the door. They just released Part 1 as a Game of the Year edition kind of remaster for 4K.
That looks gorgeous.
Picking that up to start the process, and I've seen it as low as like $10. Picking it up and getting a group of maybe 2 or 3 people that can play it, and just do it. If you've got a PC, it's cheap on Steam all the time. Play it that way if you can.
It's good stuff. So I think we've.
So we talked about Borderlands 3. I don't want to talk any more about the game. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm only about 5 hours into the game. I've just left the first area.
That's right there. I think the art style, that is sort of cell shaded look to it, is definitely where it's at. It's different. It's unique.
And you're a cosplayer, so I think you've seen the amazing cosplay that the Borderlands brings. It gives you a different style. I've seen people pull off that cell shaded look in real life, which is absolutely bananas. Being able to just add the black lines to give you that 2D look, but yet you're spinning the camera around them. It's weird, but it looks really great. So, as a cosplayer, you should definitely look into it because there's a lot of characters to cosplay as. I'm already thinking about 3D printing some masks from some of the players, and there's definitely a couple characters that I could totally pull off. For sure.
I love it. We gotta make a PAX East visit at least one year as cosplayers, because it's
That's right. They're epic.
Talk to Haley. Haley's gonna be our cosplaying consultant.
Oh, geez, totally. We talk about Borderlands. I don't want to talk any more about it. Just we'll talk a little bit about it probably for the next 3 weeks or so as we progress through the game, and maybe
ramp up my gameplay. Right, we're gonna talk about a lot more.
What I do want to talk about is on launch Friday. I did. You guys saw the posts. It was Friday. I had picked up the game. Friday night, we decided wanted to go out to dinner. I told the wife, "Hey, why don't we try this restaurant out?" It's called Nirvana, and Nirvana happens to be.
Wait, just can we take a moment and just can we just take a moment and please please marvel at the life that Joe has, where he cancels. He manages to convince his wife to go to a nerd spot to celebrate the release of a game that I am betting she's got less than zero interest in. And then takes the family to this Nerdvana game, this Nerdvana place, to enjoy a launch moment for Borderlands 3.
I will never say,
Courtney, you are amazing. I don't know. Joe does not deserve you. If you are looking for a husband that will treat you right over here.
Oh God. You know what's hilarious is Sarah is probably all for that too. She's like, yes, bring her in.
Sarah said if Courtney moves in, I move out. Like, and I'm like, wait, what happened?
No, so, I'm blessed in a very great way. They say second time's the charm, and
this time around.
For sure. And I corrected the timeline with her. That's definitely the case. And we had planned to go out. She had given me a list of restaurants, and all of them were family friendly, kid friendly fare food wise. Mm-hmm. And so out of the list of the restaurants that were there, they were all pretty much the burger, fries, loud music, bring the kids, they can be loud with their iPads kind of thing. And then I looked up the Nirvana place and I was like, well, that's equally the same. Plus
I get what I want.
Whoa, I get what I want. So I was like, hey, what do you think about this place? She was like, yeah, menu looks interesting. And sure enough, guys, look it up. Nirvana Frisco on Facebook. They've got tons of pictures. It is a restaurant attached to the office of Gearbox Software. And if I'm not mistaken, it is partially owned by Randy Pitchford's wife, I think. And so apparently it's like the lunch spot for all of them at Gearbox. They've got tons of gear. The cafe, it's a cafe and a restaurant. They've just recently merged them. The wall has been removed so you can walk over to the restaurant. The cafe side has got a full-on board game sale wall, so you can pick up a board game. I actually picked up a copy of Suro. I didn't own it, and I said, you know what, I'm going to buy it.
It's about time.
So I bought it, and so I bought Suro, and they have Gearbox hoodies and Gearbox coffee mugs and all sorts of stuff. A bunch of memorabilia, a bunch of the games that they've worked on, and then big gaming tables, and they've got coffee and the coffee machine. They've got a Ripple machine, is what it's called, and you essentially download the Ripple app, and you can just send a picture to the Ripple program and order a latte, and it prints it on the coffee. Whatever, but it works. So
it's like great minds have solved problems no one knew they had.
So I ordered a latte, and sure enough, they had some Borderlands stuff there, and I ordered it with a Borderlands logo.
That's awesome.
So they actually printed a Borderlands logo on top of my latte, which
how many lattes do you think they get ordered with pictures of penises on them?
You know what? I don't know, but you can send whatever you want to it. So I see why not. I might go in there and order like a dick butt.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's like a clean
happy medium.
The penis picture mascot. It's a good.
So we had big coffee and treats afterwards, and they had a great espresso, hot chocolate, whatever. Menu options were. The dinner was fantastic. They had all sorts of like burgers and fries and pizza for the kids and whatnot. But we walked in for dinner, and first off, they've got all sorts of like aesthetic on the wall, right? Like all sorts of consoles and stuff that have been like turned into wall art and just fantastic things. But what's great is it's almost like a Disneyland for their own franchises. Mm-hmm. So they are celebrating all of gaming. But a good example is they've got all sorts of little screens all over the wall.
Keep it clean. Very nice, Brian.
They've got all sorts of like little screens with like little gaming clips. But what's hilarious is if you pay attention and watch those long enough, Claptrap runs through all of them.
Oh,
so like little screens all over. So you've got Sonic and Link dancing and whatnot, but then Claptrap just runs behind all of them, like as they're dancing, just like
that's good branding. That's
good branding. So then you sit down and you order, and so they give you a board game menu, and a food menu and a cocktail menu.
So you like play a board game while.
So you have two options of tables. You can sit down at a big table to play a board game, or they tell you what consoles are available. And they say, oh, we've got PlayStation 4, we've got Xbox, we've got some retro ones. And so you can sit down and a big table, bring your food out, and then at the same time they have controllers and a big TV
wow.
in your like booth, so you can sit
So
down
it's almost like at home, except you're eating
at a restaurant, paying a lot more money, probably.
Whatever
works.
It's experience.
It's an experience. It's great. You meet up, you play random game that they've got esports playing on the TVs.
That's awesome. Did the kids like it?
They loved it. We checked out a game. We ordered some food. The menu had all sorts of like Gearbox, stuff.
So you're playing what was it? Connect 4.
Yeah. So we wanted to play Sushi Go because it seemed like the easiest game that maybe Ollie would have played, but they said it was checked out. So I was like, dang, that would have been the easiest one. They had a couple other ones, but I don't think he would have got it. So I just chose Connect 4, which ended up being just something easy that they can like just play. And we played a couple games, and the wife is really good at Connect 4. She got me. She got me. I got her game 2, and then she like whooped me on game 3.
There you go. Good for her.
She goes, dropped it, and she goes, Connect 4. And I'm like, where? And I'm like, oh,
she get you with a diagonal or a drop down?
The diagonal, of course she did. I got her with a diagonal game 2, but she totally beat me. So fair and square. So shout out to her. Shout out to her. So yeah, it's a great little place. If you're ever in the area, it's down the street from the National Video Game Museum.
Oh, there you go.
So
that's in Plano?
So the Strong in Rochester has the Strong Museum of Play with a giant video game museum
section, but this one's like
the National Video Game Museum. So they were able to get that name for it, and sure enough, yeah. So I haven't been yet. I'm hoping to go and take some pictures and post at it. yeah, Courtney, yeah.
Let's not spill too much tea there, Tim.
Okay, it's okay. I'm okay with that. So yeah.
So you got to celebrate the Borderlands 3 event across the street from Gearbox.
Absolutely. So that was me. That was my Friday, and my Saturday and Sunday involved football and Borderlands. But there's an update. So we talked a little bit on the stream last week on how you picked up a copy of Pokemon Pearl and Diamond.
Yep.
For how is that going? Tell us the saga of that.
So it's going great. I can't complain. The kiddo loves it. I mean, whenever she sees a new Pokemon or captures a new Pokemon, she loses her mind in classic tradition, which is a lot of fun. She's not practicing reading as much as I hoped, right? So she's sort of just meandering her way through, and she gets frustrated when she gets to a puzzle that obviously, if she just read the dialogue, she could easily solve. She doesn't understand leveling up her other Pokemon, which I keep trying to tell her is important, which cracks me up, right? So she's got her water Pokemon, the Prinlup, which is already evolved once. Yeah. It's 30 level 30, and she's fighting level 10 still, just because she's just grounded out that one as much as she can go. And all of her other Pokemons are just tiny.
She's got like an OP water type.
She's got an OP water type, and she's like, I'm just gonna use Water Bubble, and then like she's like, oh no, I killed it in one shot. I'm like, kiddo, it's level 7. Like you gotta switch if you want to capture these Pokemon. So I've tried to show her the trick, right? Damage it with the big one, then switch to the little one. So she does that every so often.
But she doesn't have shared XP, does it?
It does if you switch with 2 Pokemon. Twitch, is that what they did on Twitch streams? Pokemon? I don't know. I don't know. That's right.
So if anyone's familiar with the Twitch plays Pokemon scenario, someone had wired up like an emulator, and you could type specific words, and the emulator would do things. And so it's a very famous accolade that happened online where they were able to get through the entire game of Pokemon publicly just through commands and chat.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it's great. There's lots of.
I think she's playing that way to a certain extent.
To an extent, it's totally true.
She's enjoying it. I'm trying. She's playing. So to Haley, I've never played a single one, so I can't. I mean, I think I played the first one on the original black and white Game Boy, and it didn't really grab me, and I never came back to it.
Haley, I'm going to be with you on that. I have purchased many of them after the fact and just couldn't get into them. Mm-hmm. I purchased X and Y. I purchased Black and White 2. There was the last ones on DS. I bought those, and I even bought the newest ones, Sun and Moon. I never bought Ultra, and I played Sun halfway through, but I couldn't. I just like life happens. These Pokemon games are fantastic games. I remember the youth in me played them, and what was great is being able to go to school and take my console with me, like my Game Boy, and do like link cable transfer and whatnot. But as you get older, I get the online aspect of it, but that's why Pokemon Go catches me so much, because I'm able to just fire up this Pokemon Go game, play, catch a couple Pokemon, and move on. But those games require commitment, and as much as I want to play those, I feel like maybe when I buy them, I'm going to end up in the same fashion where I buy one, I play it, and I don't have anyone to play with. I feel like I'm missing out on the co-op aspect of it.
So I bought the set, right? I bought Pearl and Diamond. They came out together, and
Right.
And R is playing Diamond right now, and she's enjoying it, and I'm playing Pearl, and hilariously, like, I'm behind, right? Because she just plays it more. One nice side effect is that she doesn't watch as much TV as she used to. She doesn't demand the TV as much. She actually wants to play the DS a little bit more. So I'm trying to, I mean, we're still monitoring her screen time, but I'm trying to get her to at least be interactive. Right?
It's a smaller screen. It is less.
She's on. I gave her the original DS with the smaller screen, and
Took the XL.
She took the XL. I showed her what it looked like in the XL. She's like, "This is mine now," and I'm like, "What? The XL's
This is mine now. Bye.
This is mine now. I'm going to play on this." But it's great. I mean, like, I'm not as far into it as she is, but I'm actually like spending the time to talk to everyone. So like, I actually,
Have you battled?
So we have not battled. She's got a level 30 Pokemon that's going to dominate my level 10.
Just like destroying you with that OP starter.
No. And then the problem is that if I had one that could defeat her water, she would be so mad if suddenly she's got all these little low level ones, and mine are kind of equal in level as I've been evening out my leveling. And one of the things I can't resist. One of my problems with these kinds of games is that I can't resist grinding them all up in level, right? So I have 6 Pokemon, and I'm like, man, I got to grind them all up to 12 before I leave this area, because I know the next trainer wants level 12s.
It's the min-maxer in you.
So I wind up with like spending so much time in this one area that I almost get bored. So I have to keep moving, and I'm trying to keep up with her. She's way ahead. It's fun though. It's fun. I retro games are. I make fun of you a lot for your retro gaming, but this particular one feels good. It feels good to play this game.
So
it feels good on the DS.
Haven't been told probably, or the big scenario is that you can. There's a whole meta game. Of course, there's a meta game in Pokemon, but there also is hidden stats per Pokemon.
Of course, there are.
It's called the IVs. So there's calculations you can do. You take their starting HP and their starting or whatever they've got, and there's ways that you can calculate, and you can pull up their percentage of their IVs. So people are always looking for that perfect IV. Specific Pokemon, and then once they have that, then they level that one up, and that one is just
but then what? Like, the thing that I don't get is that you spend all this time, and then what? What do you?
So people have them, right? So you've been to PAX, you've seen how big those tournaments go. You have your team, and remember, Nintendo has done one thing and one thing right. It's Pokemon Bank. They've made it so that you can have these same Pokemon for the past like 6 generations. Throw them up in your bank, and when a new version comes out, you can bring them into your brand new game of Pokemon.
And then when you just dominate the new game with your
right, but then there's new mechanics to the game. So
you can breed your Pokemon?
Yeah, you can breed them. You can train. Oh God, yeah. So there's eventually a point where you take them and you can put 2 specific, a male and a female of one, take them to the day camp or whatever, and then they have an egg, and then that egg usually gives you a better IV Pokemon.
Is that why they're male and female? Like I was like, oh, do males beat males better? I don't understand what the male and female part is.
Okay. So that you can have both of them and take them. So if you find 2, you try out to find their hidden stats. That's right.
That's really unsettling.
But
I don't really want to breed my slave.
That's the thing.
Gladiator
all
warrior.
of that is under the hood. It's like Nintendo put all that in there hidden, but doesn't mention it. They're like, we don't need to. They let the grinders and the min-maxers find all that, and they just leave everything easy enough so that it's accessible to someone like R. She's just playing the game.
She's just playing the game.
And she's like, I'm having fun. But there's still a level of depth to the Pokemon games that gives you that like stat.
Yeah, or find a Ditto. That one I know at least.
Or find a Ditto. That's right, which is once you have a Ditto, you can
go nuts. Yeah.
Well, once you have a Ditto, like a male Ditto, you can take any female of it and then breed it. And you always
this makes me so uncomfortable. I don't think I can get down with, because like it's already objectionable to have your little pet trainers force them to fight each other, and now
Cockfighting, right?
Yeah, exactly. Grinding is not the right choice of word, Brian. Thank you for putting into words what I was thinking.
They grind, all right.
PG-13 rating over here at Mid-Geek Crisis. So yeah, my lovely wife is always making fun of me because she's like, why do you force them to fight each other? I'm like, no, they love fighting each other. And she's like, that's what the propaganda tells you. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? Cockfighting is the sport of our people. No, that is incorrect. That is not true at all. No one here enjoys cockfighting.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Pokemon fighting is the sport of our people. Canon arguing over canon for Star Wars is the sport of our people. I think people. or this weekend I did D&D, right? Arguing over rules is the sport of our people for D&D. So
absolutely.
Yeah, so we did our kickoff session this weekend. Jordan was actually in the room. He didn't get to play his character because he's running an interesting concept, but it was great. Actually, it was maybe one of my best session zeros. Jordan could provide input if he wants, but everyone sort of came with a concept that was open enough that we could merge them together.
Let's talk about that. How many players showed up?
So how many did I have show? So I had the core 4 plus 3 more. So I had 7 people show up. One canceled last minute. I was almost at 8. Yep, and I've got another one waiting in the wings that wanted to join the full campaign, but it's gonna be late. Yeah, that's true. I'm excited at how many women are playing, right? And also, I was sort of really sad at how many of them. Because one of the questions I always ask, and I don't know if you remember this, Joe, is what do you want out of a D&D game, right? So we talked about the characters, we talked about the setting. So we talked about a lot of character stuff, and I was like, well, as a player, what are you hoping to get out of D&D? And like one of your answers was, I want to kill a dragon, right? So we made sure that the campaign included a dragon, and the dragon was a big scene. I think Jordan and Dan, I don't remember who else had it, but they wanted to explore an ancient ruin. So Shendalar was in there for our first campaign.
Oh, Shendalar.
So I tried to
have a soft spot for Shendalar.
Sure. So we tried to include these things in there. As we were playing, and this particular session, I asked the players, like, what do you want out of a D&D game? And 2 of them were like, I always wanted to play D&D since I was young, and I never had the chance. And one of them was like, I had tried it and didn't really get into it, so I'm giving it another chance. And it just made me kind of like, I was like, man, there were so many gatekeepers and so many ways in which we kept women out of gaming back then, and it's
good.
Yeah.
You want to know why? Because we don't gatekeep.
Because we don't gatekeep, which is great, and that's great, Haley. Good for you. That's really exciting. I wish it was more out there more, and I'm trying to, so I listened to a couple of podcasts, right, for gaming, but I'm trying to listen to ones that are more, I don't want to say on the fringe, but are more inclusive, more diverse, intentionally so. So just to sort of get an idea on how to run games for people that aren't me and don't have the same D&D and same nerd experience as me, right? Because I don't want to be exclusive without meaning to. I know, when I used to play Warhammer 40K, I might have been like, look at you using your las cannons. What an idiot. I totally was like that when I was younger.
It's hard not to be.
It's hard. Well,
the culture breeds it without you realizing it. Like,
more accurately, Joe, it's easier to be a jerk, right? It's just easy to be a jerk.
No, totally. It's totally easy. But let's talk about that for a second, because I remember in any hobby, especially if it's male dominated, when you don't, sadly that was the case growing up, video games were male dominated more so than they are now. And you'd go to school and it was all about who got farther in the game.
Oh yeah.
Who discovered this, who made it there. And then after that, as you get older, it's all about competition. Boys, men in general, they thrived on that competition. And as they got older, then it got to the point where gaming became, it was for everybody. Gaming should have been always for everybody. But then women were like, hey, we want to play this game. And by that point, they've got 30 years under their belt. And they're just like, why do we want to teach you guys? Like,
why do we want to teach you guys?
It's so annoying.
It's the worst. And you're right, Jordan. Legacy 77, I'm hoping to raise our kids better, for sure. I mean, that's the plan. We will be better with our kiddos. And one of the ways we do that is I'm always talking about it. I'm trying to always think about it. Especially as I watch R grow up, play video games, and there are things that are second nature to me, and she goes and she doesn't understand it at all, and I'm just like, I don't even know how to explain this without being like, oh, kiddo, you got to press B don't you know that B's the cancel button, right? And I have to like explain to her the sort of rules of things that we just grew up with.
We have to back out and go, wait, the left button, like the left feeling button is usually the activate button.
Yeah.
The right button is the back out button.
Right. But we know it cold. We're not
we don't have to. It's B's action on a Nintendo console. A is action for because it's the far left, the bottom left button on the four. Like we get it. It's muscle memory. But having to teach that to somebody, then we get to that point where like, oh, what are you, stupid? And I'm like, no, it's not muscle memory.
I like that. Yeah. So our D&D game, I'm excited for it. It's going to be a great campaign. I think we what do we have? We've got two rogues, a warlock, and a paladin for our core 4, which is it's
two rogues, a paladin, and a warlock.
So I mean, it's essentially 4 DPS characters. A paladin can function as a tank, but it's not the best. It's not the best frontline tank, and no wizards, right? Which I'm wondering if any of the rogues are going to take some magic. So it's going to be an interesting. It's going to be real fun designing the adventures for them, as I don't typically try to balance encounters. But it's going to be neat seeing how they overcome this because they've got skill heavy guys with the skill heavy characters with the rogues. So I'm excited. I'm taking some published adventures and I'm reworking them to fit into our campaign, and that's what I'm working on all this week. I was telling Joe earlier that I'm like looking at things and pulling up maps and seeing how this goes and things like that. So I've got some fun stuff in the works.
So you asked this to all the people that are in your game, but this is now going to be your 3rd major campaign that you've run, long-term campaign.
Yep.
I think we should ask the question to the DM, guys. What are you looking to get out of this? And I only ask this because this is the 3rd time you've done this. You don't want to rehash things. Obviously, you're starting the first game you did this is season 3 for him, sure, in a way. The first game was play the starter set.
Mm-hmm.
The second game was a little tweaked, still kind of base, starting off in the wilderness kind of thing. Or no, I think you did some city antics a little bit. But this time around, I think you're
behind the DM screen, right? So first season was learning the game, right? Definitely, I used the basic starter kit,
learning 5e. That was the big reason we decided to play this, is because it was all about 5e. It just launched. Let's play that.
Yeah. So first season was definitely learning the game, learning how to build encounters, really focused on just like balancing encounters to just last a session, right? Because as adults, we couldn't do the 4 to 5.5 hour sessions that you see sometimes folks playing online. We would get only like 2.5, 3 hours after the chit chat and hanging out thing. So I had to try and make an encounter only last that long, make a dungeon only last 4 sessions in case no one had to drop out. I think I learned a lot in that first season, and the second season was much more exploring like what I could do on my own. So there was a lot of like free form adventuring, a lot of adjusting to the party's sort of ridiculous gameplay, which was a lot of fun. I know this particular past season, retraining players who have been abused by previous DMs. That's you get these folks coming in with a lot of baggage on what they expect from DMs, and I think I give the lecture about trust. Failure is fun. Trust the dice. Hate the dice. Trust your DM to make sure that even when you fail, you're having fun. I'm not out to get you, which is often the way DMs and players are portrayed in forums and memes. So again, and now this 3rd season, I don't want to say I want to perfect the craft, but that's what I want to do. I don't think you can run the perfect season, but I want to run an adventure that sort of checks all the boxes for everyone. I took session 0 very important. I've got a list of things. I'm going to try very hard to address the kind of things that these players want. I was excited when they said they wanted to be, because they're all outsiders in a way, half elves and tieflings and races out there, especially with so many noobs. Like I want to make sure they come out of this with a real great experience up to level 5. I'm also really focused on, how you say, taking published materials and making them our own.
Right? Yes.
So that's really
always been my favorite thing that you've done, and I have always followed suit on that as much as I can. I think people take printed adventures too literally. I'm all for the creativeness of the writer and the developer, but if they don't fit your play style, you shouldn't shoehorn players to do it. I think using that campaign as a foundation and letting
Yeah.
players be creative is definitely
The cautious reskin.
the cautious
The
reskin.
cautious reskin.
Yeah,
It's Jordan knows my philosophy. We've talked about it on the road trips to PAX East, but it's DMing is a toolbox, right? It's not necessarily what I have is what I think of it more as I have a big box of toys, and the players are in this sandbox, and all I'm doing is just putting out toys for the players to grab and play with. And when I see them grab a certain group of toys, I throw more toys in that direction to keep the game interesting. Again, I hate to use the analogy where the players are kids, but that's a lot of my job is to make sure they don't get too distracted, so that we can focus on building a great story together. And I really do enjoy that. So that's why I'm back for a third season. And all the new players really are inspiring to play with them. When the threats are real. See, Haley, I'm with you there. Like, I feel like if you know that the dice are fudged, it doesn't feel. For me, I always felt cheated if I knew they were fudging rolls. Like, I would do the math in my head and I'd be like, wait a minute, there's no way that's a miss, right? Or there's no way, blah, blah, blah. It's all about that balance. I'm with you there. And some players just try to dig out the dog poo. What are we talking about now? And some player, this is an inside joke that maybe I'm not getting.
but Haley, I'm with you on that. I feel so in definitely modern pop culture, with things like Big Bang Theory, with it says your sandpit.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's right. Some players just try to dig out the dog poo. That's right. And some players bring their own toys, and if those toys work, you want to incorporate them, and that's fine. That's what I like about the sandbox play. And
so we've got, with D&D in the modern culture as much as it is now, I think the ravenous evil DM is like a constant trope that doesn't need to exist. It doesn't need to, like, it exists. Let it exist in fantasy, but I think a good DM should always be just there's a balance, right? Like, yes, make things dangerous. It's okay to kill a player, but if that player, that's me. I've seen arguments on D&D forums and posts and groups and all this stuff about like killing them and let them learn. And I'm like, but sometimes it kills, especially a brand new player. I hopped on a conversation once where they were talking about, first session, first time player came in, spent all week creating a player, and then first encounter he ran in and got killed, and I did it. And I'm like, I killed my first player. And I'm like, should I feel bad? And I'm like,
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Yes and no. Like, sure, but will you let him just put a 2 at the end of it and go, the son of so-and-so, and he comes in? Then that's fun. But like killing a player, what gratification is that giving a DM? And if it's giving you that much joy, then maybe you shouldn't be a DM. I'm just saying, like, if killing a player and killing someone's joy and time, that person spent days creating their character so that they can show up to your session, and then you killing them gives you what? Like, what is it doing? If your entire goal is to make a story and entice these characters and bring this like world of fantasy to life and give them joy and give you joy of playing the god complex of like, hey, there's nothing wrong with feeling a little powerful like that. DMs, that's the whole powerful, the storyteller, the watcher,
I think the best DM in the world, and I've played with quite a few DMs, are the ones that find a balance between the rule of cool, which is letting it happen because it's more cool for the story,
right,
and that sort of authoritative DM's way or your character's dead way. There's a balance there, right? Because Tim's lost with the conversation. So, I mean, at the end of the day, the DM, I always say this, I'm the head writer, right? So my job is to make sure that the season goes really well from a story perspective, but everybody in the room is also a writer, and they also happen to be the audience. I'm audience as well. And I think rolling the dice out in front and letting the threats be real and the failures be real allows us all to have to creatively adjust to those moments, right? That's what the dice gives you. And that's what's the most important thing about dice. So yes, DM is Dungeon Master, Tim.
Yes, DM is Dungeon Master. So this is interesting because we've got a couple players on here and people that are all over the country. In this, with this new format, we can invite anyone we want.
What do you mean?
With this new chat format and show format, I can send links to anybody. I can click on someone on here and invite them.
Oh wow! So you could just have him jump right in.
But what if maybe in the future we did a small intro campaign for some of these
Oh my gosh! An online campaign? We can probably give it a try. Let me see here.
Not even like, it doesn't need to be, maybe just a one-time adventure kind of thing. Bring in 4 people from our chat, people that have maybe never played. Someone like Tim, who's never played D&D. Bring them in, let them play a little bit and see what they feel like. And at the same time, yes, online campaigns are hard. Absolutely. But if it's hard, I think it's only hard when you have people that are focused on the rules. But if they're just in it for the fun and are okay with like, oh, I didn't get this rule right, let's move on, then I think you can have a lot of fun. Oh my God, his accents. We talked about that last episode, guys. He's just always accent. But yes, and someone like maybe having brother sister on, maybe doing like a small thing where, you know, we drop on. You're the DM.
I love it. Let's so all in favor of making Joe run a game for us.
Me. You know what? I would do that because birthday boy over here, always, yeah. On camera, of course, you'd be on camera. You'd come on and put the camera on and do it totally. But absolutely, I would run a game and have him be a player because absolutely, he's always running the game. I feel like he's 3 sessions in, and not only is he 3 seasons of DM. This would be like year 5 that you've done this.
Yeah, year 5.
Year 5 that you've done this. You also do it every year at PAX.
I do.
So, at PAX, this guy shows up at PAX East. His brother's in tow.
My body's broken. I just got broken out of the hospital. I'm limping.
His
all
back.
Right. All right, guys, let's play some deal.
Back.
Let me just take these painkillers.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And he's always the one having to run the story. And it's because he comes the most prepared. He is definitely the DM. You know, if his trope was the DM, he is the DM. But I'm willing to run a game to have him on here just to kind of like
put it online. I can send you some maps. Look, let me see if I can well, how do I do this? Okay, here we go. So I've got some cool maps that I can just throw up for you, right? If you wanted to see
isn't that great? Like you can, so easy.
I've got pieces and things like that. You just throw them up and you can run the nice little game. So this is from Heroic Maps. I'm sure they're going to hate me for putting this up, but here's a picture of their modular towns, which I'm grabbing some pictures of these so I can put them on the table when we run some games, you know?
I can throw up a roll 20.
Thanks, Haley. Thanks. Old man Pedro. That's me. Turning older tomorrow. So thank you.
So would you like to, how old will old man Pedro be? You have no shame in the age, right?
Oh, I have no shame in the age. No, 2042 years old, for the record.
2042. Yes. Isn't that the scene of Valerian, your favorite movie?
Is that? You know what's great? I want to watch that. It's on my list of movies to watch again because I'm like, I got to give this movie another chance. I think I did enjoy it.
Does it need another chance? So many free pieces of software to keep. Oh yeah, Brian. Roll 20 is definitely the most popular one. There's a couple of interactive map ones that our friends at Haunted Mansion have created. They've created some cool interactive maps with like lighting and all sorts of stuff. It's great. I can't believe we are in such a giant renaissance of D&D again, where it's in so many like aspects that there's multiple options for online. There's multiple podcasts and shows, celebrities. Like
I was reading an article that the new D&D campaign, the Journey into Avernus, whatever, the Trip to Hell, whatever they're calling it, it's got 7 podcast groups from all over the world running this game together. So they're running scenarios that are connected on their podcast. And so they've got like podcasters in Brazil, podcasters in Singapore. I should list their names, but I'm like, wow, there's enough to do this. There's enough content and fans of this game out there and people out of the basement, if you will, playing this out in the open and enjoying it, that Wizards just went out and said, hey, we'll send you some free stuff. Create content for us, which they're underselling themselves. I'm like, guys, you should have gotten some Wizards money, but otherwise it's great.
But I mean, that's the interesting part.
It is pretty cool, Jordan.
I don't know how much Wizards of the Coast makes off of any of this. Like, if anything, they're selling a few copies of the hard book, maybe a couple subscriptions to D&D Beyond, but like I can't imagine them making millions. Is it?
Yeah, I mean, this they own. I mean, they're like I don't want to say they're like the Doritos of the. No, it's not like a legacy version. It's more like each of the DMs was given a scenario in this campaign world as a prequel, and they're all running their players to run towards the beginning of that campaign. So it's kind of an intro to the campaign concept, and each of them got some notes on how to bring it all together. And they actually, if there's an article on Kotaku about it, that they all went into like a Discord channel, all the DMs for these podcasts, and coordinated how they're going to connect all of their plays. It's Avernus is the name of the campaign, and it's 7 podcasts or wizards working with podcasters to create an Avernus introduction. So to that effect, what was I going to say? I don't remember now. There you go. You made me forget, Jordan, because that was such an interesting question. A D&D Legacy would be pretty neat. But D&D's already, I mean, I feel like Legacy would not, Pandemic Legacy would not exist without D&D, right? The idea of leveling up your board game would not exist without D&D already out there to level yourself up on. Are you looking for it?
I am. I would love to.
Yeah. And not to, D&D owns the market. They're like 80% of the market. They dominate it so much that people talk about role-playing games and D&D interchangeably, like Xerox or Kleenex or any of that stuff.
Right. So back in the day, I say back in the day because it wasn't that long ago, but I mean, at least 10 years ago, just talking D20, like what's the system you ran, and D20 is the system you ran, and D20 was just based on anything that was D&D. So if 3.5 was the popular one at the time, that was the D20 system that you would run on top of whatever skin of game that you would run, right?
And Wizards actually like sold the system D20, and that's how you wound up with this proliferation of D20 games out there on top of their system.
Pathfinder and whatnot.
And that's how Pathfinder sort of found its roots, in that they built a D20 system that was close enough, and then they survived the 4th edition change and the 5th edition. Not to say that there isn't some phenomenal role-playing games to play out there. I mean, Jordan ran Star Wars for me, which was a lot of fun, and a player in my current campaign, the new season, ran another game for me. So I play other role-playing games because you have to in order to experience them. I read a lot about them. So you definitely want to I say if you like D&D, go out and try a different game or two. Go out and explore some other role-playing games, because you can bring it back to the D&D toolkit, which is what I use in my D&D games. Yeah, absolutely. I should pimp a few. I think Torchbearer is coming out soon with a new edition, and I'm still waiting for my vampire solo game, 1,000-year-old vampire. What's going on? Tim?
Oh my God! Right, we talked about that on like the 3rd episode of this. So
yeah, like, it's supposed to be coming out. It's supposed to be delivering, I think, in the next month or so. So I'm excited to see
talk about it when that comes out, because that was one of our first pimps. We definitely pimped that out.
I should have Tim on here. It'll up our beard factor by 1,000. I think, if I had him on.
Does he have a long one?
Oh yeah, he's got like a Unabomber one. He's a good looking man. Although he may have cut it because he got a new job. I don't know. But last time I saw him, he had that big old. You can't be a solid nerd without the big old nerd beard. Mine is out of control. I need to go to the barber soon. Anyway, that's the D&D campaign. That's what I did this week, and that's what I'm working on all week. I spent a lot of time doing a lot of work up front on D&D campaigns, so I could just coast for a year and look like I'm a genius. There's your behind the screen, Jordan. Do all the work up front. Yeah. 2000.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I didn't think I lived this long. I would have treated my body better.
Black
so that's
heart,
the lesson.
Souls of small children. That totally allows you to like keep feeding. You are kind of Lich-esque.
I'm Lich-esque.
So it works out for you in your favor.
Yes, all the grizzled undead look, none of the powers. That's how I'm Lich-esque. There you go. Yeah.
There's a painting in a attic somewhere, or a book. No, you probably Marie Kondoed it. You probably like sent it off.
This painting that keeps me young, it brings me no joy.
So this painting is somewhere out in the open, hoping it doesn't get destroyed. Guys, if anyone finds a painting that looks like Pedro, please don't destroy it. I don't want to lose my host.
I love it. There you go. Good way to end it. Good way to end it on my birthday. Thanks for joining, everyone.
Yeah.
Great to chat.
guys, it's been an hour. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm loving this format. I'm loving the interaction. Absolutely. Again, if you see a painting in a Camillus, New York Goodwill store that looks like Pedro, please buy it. Pay the $1.50 that it's worth. Take it home. Put it in an attic. It'll keep them for sure.
I'm laughing because you think the painting actually got out of New York City. You think I'm going to move all the way up here with the painting?
No, it's sitting in a sealed up wall in a bodega.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my God, that means it's going to last forever. It's the safest place in the world.
That's exactly right.
Oh my God. Tip says he's bearded. He can replace him. Huh?
So this has been the Mid-Geek Crisis, episode 44.
44. Thank you guys. Again, we don't have music, so I can't shout out to Heretofore, but they made lots of music for our episode 4.
We gotta talk about that when we put it up there again on YouTube for viewing later. Do we add the music back on, or is it?
It's already up on YouTube, man.
Oh, I got it.
I got to find a way to maybe put some music on before the show. Maybe find a way like
another application you play while it's running.
Yeah. I'll get it situated for sure. We're getting it going, guys. But thanks, guys. We had a great turnout. I loved all you guys.
And gals.
Guys and gals. Sorry.
Do better, Joe.
It's that y'all is mentality in Texas. Guys is like everybody. Use guys, everybody. It's everybody. I get it. Guys and gals. Love you. Again, episode 44 is in the can. Thank you, guys.
Be kind. Thank you.
Happy birthday, brother.
Yes.